everybody, Star here, and I am here with another vlog that I'm bringing you today. It's going to be covering a topic which I actually discussed on Twitter a little bit. It was, for some of you, I guess I'm dating this vlog by saying yesterday, it was International Women's Day. I'm recording this on Wednesday. I don't know when this will go up, probably within the next day or two. Maybe at the weekend, I don't know. Anyway, it was International Women's Day at the week just gone on Tuesday, the 8th of March. I know my dates very well, thank you very much. Yeah, it was International Women's Day on the 8th of March, and I love days which celebrate you know, the different genders, not every single gender necessarily if you look at, you know, Women's Day and Men's Day. And I love International I love International Women's Day, I love International Men's Day, I love International No Gender Day, any kind of gender day, any kind of no gender day, celebration days of all types. You know, I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, it's only celebrating women, what about all the other genders and things like that, because that's kind of not how I see it. I see, you know, so like, for example, I saw a lot of people tweeting at some of their favourite female YouTubers and being like, you inspire me because of this, I like your content because of that. I had people tweeting at me about that, and that made me so happy. Actually, one of the things that a lot of you guys said is that you enjoyed these vlogs and me talking about these topics, and that made me so incredibly happy and pleased. And it's just a nice opportunity for women to tell other women, or men to tell other women, or any people to tell, you know, other women, you know, you're great, I really like what you do, you know, congrats on getting this far in life, you know, promoting different female figures in history and things like that. And it's great. And it's the same International Men's Day, you know, I love telling all my bros how much I love them. I love telling, you know, all the guys in my life how much they mean to me and how important they are. And, you know, I think that international insert topic here days are great for kind of just reminding us about some things. It's a little bit like Thanksgiving, where people are like, you know, Thanksgiving is stupid, you should be thankful for things every day. And it's like, well, that's fair enough, but I don't think it's a reason to dislike Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving can just remind us of, like, what we're thankful for in life. So, while yes, you should be thankful every day of the year, I think it's just nice to have a day which is kind of important in reminding us about, you know, oh, actually, I really appreciate this in my life, I really appreciate the men in my life, I really appreciate the women in my life, I really appreciate what I'm thankful for, things like that. So I'm really a big supporter of these days, but of course, especially with things involving sexism and sexism, there is a lot of kind of hate thrown about in social media around these days, and it makes me really sad, because these days should be positive things which are promoting gender, and instead you see people, you know, rip other genders to shreds, and I think that's not cool. I think one of the most, and this is, you know, I might go on a bit of a rant with this vlog here, but this is honestly one of my biggest, like, pet peeve is the wrong word, but it's one of those things that really fires me up. It's one of the things that really annoys me, and it's women, or, you know, people in general, but especially women, saying on International Women's Day, every other day is Men's Day, so let this day be for the women. And that, honestly, is one of the most idiotic things I have ever seen. And this vlog might get a ton of hate, it might not, I don't know how it's gonna go, you know, I just want to address this issue and say, because I've seen it thrown around so much, and I've seen it thrown around by people who I even follow, people who I actually, you know, respect their opinions on, but I see them tweet this and I'm like, why, you know, why are you, you know, even promoting this? Because when you really think about it, it's incredibly hypocritical and it's incredibly narrow-minded, and it's really not productive to society. A lot of people who throw this about, I'm going to make some generalizations here, which is, you know, it's just for the ease of talking about the topic. Obviously, I'm not going to say every feminist, every woman, every man is going to be like what I say here, but I'm giving some examples. So, a lot of women, especially a lot of feminists. Now, obviously, being a feminist should be a positive thing, it should be a good thing, but at the same time, there are some feminists who give feminism a bad name out there, and, you know, feminists will be like, they're not really feminists, they're just, you know, really pro-women, but really anti-men, and that's what we're about, and that's fair enough. But there are some women out there who are basically saying that, you know, women have it really rough, women have it bad, you know, every other day men have it great, so therefore, you know, this day is for the women, you know, let this day be for the women. And fair enough, if it's a day about promoting women, I want it to be promoting women, I want it to be about women, I want people to be talking about women, but it does not mean that you can't talk about men, and you can push men aside, and you can say so easily, every other day of the year is Men's Day, because that is just simply not true, because all genders have stereotypes thrown at them, and all genders also have positive things about them, whether you're a man, a woman, whether you don't conform to any kind of gender, whether you're gender fluid, anything like that. There is no kind of, you can never ever say they have it great and we don't, because everybody has it bad to some extent. If you look at male suicide, okay, so I volunteer at a helpline service, and we get so many men phoning in, talking to us about their feelings because they feel like they can't talk about it to anyone else because they're told to shut up, they're told, you have it really well, you don't have any problems, or they're told, you know, just to man up. And that is not cool. Men have it really, really bad, just as bad as women do in a lot of ways. If you look at male suicide rates, they are skyrocketing. They're sky high compared, and it's because they don't get the help. It's because they can't talk to women. They can't talk about it like women feel like they can. Women, you know, talk to other female friends about it. They feel a lot more in touch with their emotions, or they feel a lot more able to talk about these things. Whereas guys are often told to shut up, or told, you know, oh, well, at least you're paid more, or no, just man up about it. It's not as bad. And by saying every other day is International Men's Day, that is incredibly hypocritical. Feminists and women and men and people and children and everybody, they have been working for so long to try and get women have more rights, and that is a wonderful, wonderful thing to see. They're trying to get women on equal grounds with men. And by saying every day is International Men's Day, you're being incredibly sexist, and you're throwing their, you know, their problems away like they're nothing, and they'll be like, oh, whatever, they're men, they're not important, they're important every other day of the year, let's just talk about women problems. And, like, how hypocritical is that? You're throwing away male opinions and male comments. You know what happens? Men did that to women as well once, and again, I'm not saying all men, but that happened to women as well, and you have fought to get women their voice and to get women to be heard. So why on earth would you want that voice that you have fought so hard to be heard to be one negatively putting down other genders? You have fought to make your gender heard. You have fought to make genders equal, and now you're just going to throw that away by doing exactly what other people do. You can't fight sexism with more sexism. It is incredibly stupid and incredibly narrow-minded. I am very, very aware that women do not have it good in so many ways. I am a woman. I know it. I can see it every day. Manchester alone should see the number of rapes that happen just 10 minutes from where I live. And just the other week, there was a march about this. There was a march called Reclaim the Night, which is an amazing march in Manchester where thousands and thousands of women and men and children all come and they all march. And they march down the street, and it was a beautiful thing to see. I think I've talked about this a bit in a previous vlog, but it was an incredible thing to see them uniting against this. Not just women, but men as well. And you know what the problem is? If you're going to shut men out like that, if you're going to tell men their problems aren't as bad, they're going to stop helping you. They're going to stop helping you. And we need men, just like men need women. Just like any people needs people, regardless of gender. We need people of all shapes and sizes and genders and religions and, you know, everything. And by shutting people out like that, it's just not a positive way to go about it. I was at a Women in Media conference, which I think I'm going to do a separate vlog about to talk about, but there was one of a women speaker there, and she was talking about, like, you know, because the majority of attendees were women, and she's like, where are the men? We need to talk to men about this. We need to educate the men about this as well, because a lot of the time, you know, even if men sympathize with the problems that we're going through, they don't quite understand the extent to which we're going through these problems, and that's fair enough. We want to be talking to the men, we want to be helping the men to understand, and by telling the men your problems aren't as bad, that is not going to get them to help us or sympathize with us. If anything, that's going to give them more problems and more reasons to try and shut their thoughts out, and that is not what we want. That is not cool. It just honestly makes me a bit sick to see women talking, you know, down at men like that and saying that, you know, International Men's Day is, you know, every other day, today is for the women. That is absolutely, it's just BS, really. It is just utter BS, and I'm kind of disgusted at people who tweet that, and I want to shout and scream at them, but I won't because Twitter drama is not cool. So instead I'm just going to shout at them in this vlog here, which is probably still not cool, but it's a topic I'm really passionate about, and I really felt like I needed to just, you know, stop and just speak to people about this, because I think it's just incredibly unfair, and I think you can't compare one problem to another. So, you know, okay, lower pay might be really bad for a woman who's really struggling to feed her family. Maybe she's a mother, you know, she's just a single mother of, you know, lots of children or something, and she's really struggling, you know, to pay them. But equally, maybe she's really wealthy and she's got, you know, like, you know, a lot of, you know, work colleagues who really respect her, and she has a great time at work, even if she doesn't get the pay that she needs. Equally, a man might be, you know, struggling with depression, struggling with suicidal thoughts, and he can't talk about it because, you know, nobody is listening, or people are telling him to shut up, or people are telling him his problems aren't so bad. Or it might be a guy who kind of has some down thoughts and doesn't feel like he can't talk about it, but it doesn't bother him too much. He kind of brushes them aside and he's okay and he's mentally healthy and things like that. Like, you know, people's problems can come in all shapes and sizes, and it's not fair to just say, you know, oh, women have these problems, so therefore we have it so much worse, so men should shut up. That is not, it's just not productive. How can you ever think that this is going to improve our society in any way if all you're going to do is put down other genders? And, you know, it's not just men and women. Obviously, there's stereotypes and, you know, hate thrown at people who are gender fluid, who don't conform to either gender, who just want to be them. There are people who, you know, who like being both genders. Maybe, you know, some days they feel a bit more like, I'm going to, you know, look or act a bit more like a woman. Sometimes I'm going to act a bit more like a man. And they don't see it as being a man or a woman. They just see it as being themselves. And that is fine as well. And, you know, gender, I think gender is incredibly important to our society. I don't think we should conform to the stereotypes that society sets up. I think if men want to cry, men can cry. If men want to wear pink, they can wear pink. If men want to wear skirts, they can wear skirts. But if they still consider themselves to be a man, regardless of the clothes they wear, then who are we to tell them, no, you're not a man because you're wearing a skirt? Equally, if a woman wants to have short hair, let her have short hair. If she wants to wear trousers all the time, let her wear trousers. If she wants to not wear a bra, then don't let her wear a bra. You know, like, and it's just kind of, we don't need to conform to these stereotypes, but at the same time, you know, I do think they are important for shaping our society and the culture that we live in, so we can't just so easily throw gender aside. But equally, we can't let it, you know, control how we think about people in that way. We can't let it create these rules for us. We can't have women saying to men, oh, just man up and be manly because that's what your gender's like. Equally, we can't have men being like, oh, women are naturally weaker, so we're going to give them less pay. And I know this is a problem that can't be solved in one vlog, and I'm not trying to do that. I just wanted to discuss it a little bit and discuss that one phrase which just annoys me so incredibly much. And I think you should think before you tweet about, or before you, you know, Facebook about, or before you, you know, YouTube or comment or anything, Reddit about, whatever social media you use. I think you should really think before, you know, pushing other people's problems aside. And I think you should realize it's not productive to just, you know, so easily say, oh yeah, it's International Men's Day every other day. Women have it really great in a lot of ways too, you know. You know, women, because of looks, sometimes they're more likely to get jobs, and I know I'm not saying that's a good thing, but it is, you know, statistically, men, I mean, it varies in job sectors, but men are often, you know, higher up in the stances. I know a lot of this, especially in media, I know a lot of this because I was at this conference, and, you know, there were lots of, you know, facts and actual real statistics being thrown about, but they would be more likely to hire, and even if you don't think you are, psychologically, subconsciously, you are more likely to hire people who you are attracted to. And quite often, a lot of the time, there are men in the upper, higher, you know, ranking hiring places in jobs. So if you are a woman, you do have that upper edge. And also, if you're a woman, if you do something that a man, you know, or men are more likely to do or more known to do. So, I don't know, say for example, you created an amazing physical task that, you know, plenty of men have done but not many women have done. You're admired a lot more for that, and you're kind of congratulated a lot more for that because you're a woman. And there's a lot of because you're a woman things that are happening today where women are given a lot more credit than men for doing a lot of things because we're women. And again, I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. Like, you know, it's great to see women branching out and doing all these things which have been primarily male things in the past, but at the same time it gives us an upper edge for a lot of things. So yes, there's a lot of problems directed at women, and there's a lot of issues that we deal with, but there's also a lot of good that women have done. There's a lot of recognition that women get, and, you know, I think, you know, some feminists, some women, they tend to focus on the negative things more than the positive things, and instead of being like, look at all that women have done, they look at all that women have been, you know, trodden on for, look at all these bad things that have happened to women. I mean, even if they take something positive, look at what women have done, they use it like a slap in the face to men instead of being like, you know, oh, look at what this woman has done, you know, isn't it great, let's remember this great woman. It's more like, look at what this woman has done, you know, look, women are great, you keep denying us this stuff, but women are great, look at this woman, she's awesome and you're not. Like, that's the kind of attitude that a lot of people have, and I think it's just disgusting, honestly. I don't think we should be putting each other down, and I think we just need to be a bit kinder to each other, and a little bit, you know, just show a bit of respect, show a little bit of, you know, don't be so hypocritical. Just look, these are people too, regardless of gender, just like you. You can't have your pie and eat it too. You can't try and promote gender equality and, you know, be fighting and being like, it's not fair to put down a gender, and then as you're saying that, you're also putting down a gender. Like, it's incredibly hypocritical. It really undermines your argument. It's going to get a lot of people to not listen to you and not care what you have to say, because all they see is you being a massive idiotic hypocrite. Yeah. That's all I have to say on the matter, really. That came across probably more angry and passive-aggressive than I wanted it to. But hey, I think it's a really important issue, and I think that people should actually stop and think what they're saying before just posting willy-nilly on Twitter. Yes, I did just say willy-nilly. And, you know, just think. Just be a bit nicer, okay? Just be a bit blah, 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 blah. I can't even speak. Of course, I messed up the last bit of the vlog. Be a bit nicer. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next vlog. Hearts and love to you all. Keep spreading it around. Thank you. Bye.